Hey, and welcome to another episode of The Influential Nonprofit. As you know, I'm your host. I'm Maryanne Dersch, and today we're going to talk about something that a client brought to me. Now, as you know, or if you don't, you do now. I run a course in influence. It's called Uplevel Your Influence. It's all designed to get people, get you to be able to move people to action and lead more effectively from a place of confidence, calm, and clarity to enroll people in your vision and ask for and receive what you want. And most of the work is around an energy shift and understanding and cultivating energy. And one of my clients, her name's Ty, and she's amazing. And she asks an important question that I think affects a lot of people during this time. We are facing a lot of uncertainty, and we're always facing a lot of uncertainty. Our world is a chaotic and uncertain place. There's two things we long for that we can't have, and that's certainty and control. And we learned in 2020, 2021 what that felt like when the world felt like it was just shutting down around us. And now there's chaos around. I just read a post today from a dear colleague who runs an organization that works to house people and to furnish their homes. All these different regulations that are absolutely fundamentally changing how they do their work from a place of support to punishment. And I feel like there's a lot of that going around. There is a lot of changes happening all the time. And if you're feeling fear, if you're feeling uncertain, if you're feeling chaotic, you are not alone. And Ty's question was a simple one. And the question was, how do I lead? How do I lead with confidence from a place of confidence when there's so much to fear these days? And let's talk about it. I think this is an important topic. Fear is everywhere. First, I just want to say the act of asking this question itself is an act of leadership. It means that you're aware and you're human and that you care deeply about what's going on. And I really want to emphasize that. If you're afraid, it's okay. That means your emotions are working. You are working your regulatory, your emotional system. Being afraid is a part of being human, and you are a human being. So congratulations to that. Our point here is not to eradicate fear because there's really no way we can do that. Confidence comes from not the absence of fear, but reframing our relationship to fear. And I'm going to talk about how we do that. Before I give you the steps on how to do that, I want to explore a little bit more about the role of fear in our life and the purpose of it. Fear is a survival mechanism. And as you know, and I talk about this a lot, our bodies are, our instinct brain was formed as a fear response, fight or flight, freeze, fawn. Ah! And you may be feeling a lot of those. Fight, the anger and the agitation, freeze that you can't move, you just want to like hide under your desk. Those are all responses and they're really based in our biology. That fear has a purpose. If we didn't have fear, we'd drive ourselves right off a cliff. Right? Um, and confidence has a purpose. And all of these things have a purpose, and nothing is broken. Nobody needs to be fixed. There's nothing wrong with you because you're afraid. And I want to make sure that's absolutely clear. In the work that I do and the nonprofit leaders that I coach and train, one of the foundational principles is nobody's broken, nobody needs to be fixed. Everything you are is perfect and whole, and there's a reason why everything exists inside you. The idea now, though, is to intentionally focus on what it is. Sometimes your fear is founded and you need fear, to make sure you pay attention to things and be accountable to things. And then you also need confidence. So, and intentional conscious leadership is being able to decide how you want to respond and using that sovereign, higher, purposeful self. You can either look at it as I look at this part of you that three ways. It's either your higher self, the being that's sort of above you, raining knowledge down on you, your expanded self, that one that sees and hears and feels everything, or your grounded self, the one that's like sitting in the chair and like feels really sovereign on the throne. Whatever description you attach to, go ahead and grab that one and use it. I use my higher self because I really see it as a person above me, but it's that higher, knowing, powerful queen, king, royalty inside you that is knows that all of this is temporary and all of this is will is designed to help us get better. And that can be hard. Like I'm thinking of Betsy right now and her organization, Home Sweet Home, and the federal mandates that come down around dealing with people without homes and how they do that. It and how she's feeling. So I want to share with you now that we know that there's a place for fear, there's no need to eradicate it. It's ridiculous to try to get rid of it. It's just part of our lives. What we need to change is our relationship to it and how we navigate it. If you're not afraid, you're not trying. If you're not afraid, you're not growing. Fear is a part of growth, it's a part of change, and it is a natural way that we deal and manage the uncertainty around us. But remember, there's no such thing as certainty and control. So we're going to let go of the need to have those things and instead ground ourselves in our higher or expanded, or sorry, bring in that higher, expanded, or grounded part of us that understands that everything is transitional, everything is temporary. One of my coaches, Dr. Aaron, he talks about there's feelings and there's facts. And the feeling is things are really out of control. And then I'm sure there's the facts are if you had to go before a judge and make a case that you've got this, that you're navigating this okay, you probably could. Like in 2020, when COVID hit and we were all going crazy, so many of us figured it out. We rose to the occasion. It was hard, it was stressful, and also a lot of new ideas, a lot of great new information came out of that. So fear is just a natural part of changing things. We don't want to eradicate fear. We want to change our relationship to it. Okay, let's talk about this. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me say one more thing. One more thing is that a good leader understands that they're going to be afraid. Every single person that's done anything interesting has worked through fear to do it. Good leader, confident leaders understand that fear is a part of it. Fear doesn't stop them. It just kind of comes along for the ride. So let's talk about how we can lead with confidence even during uncertain times. Step one, anchor in purpose. I had a call today. I was recording another episode of this podcast, and my interviewee said a little bit about how, oh, I'm a little bit nervous. And I used a phrase that somebody taught me many years ago. You can't be nervous when you're in service. Reconnect to what it is you do. Fear narrows your focus to threats, and the purpose widens your lens and to what matters most. So let your mission, not your fear, drive your decisions. So reconnect yourself with the purpose. You can't be nervous when you're in service. And really focus on the purpose and the mission and your heart and everything that's rich and true. No, Oprah has that phrase, what I know for sure. Like what I know for sure is I am doing good work. I'm putting good things in the world. Getting back to that mission releases all of the noise around you. Number two, feel the fear. Fear is natural and let it inform you. It's a good information, but it doesn't have to drive the bus. No, fear is like, sure, fear, thank you for coming. Now you can take your place in the back. You can acknowledge your fear without letting it dictate your actions. When you do this, you model courage for your team and your community. And admitting to fear is okay too. In fact, let's normalize admitting to fear. Because, like I said, I teach influence, and the most vulnerable person in the room is the most influential person in the room. The more vulnerable and open you are, the more influential you are. Now, I'm not saying have a nervous breakdown in front of your whole team and scream and cry. And I'm just saying you can say, this is scary times. I get it. I'm scared too. It's okay to be afraid, and it's okay to say you're going to be afraid. I have to tell you, when my dad died in 2008, and I always talk about my best friend Jim Kemp, and Jim. I asked Jim, like, my children were young, and losing my dad was really, really tough on me. I was a daddy's girl. We very much the same personality, and that was the first person really close to me that I had lost. And I asked Jim, I said, what do I show them? What do I tell them? And he goes, show them everything. I was afraid to grieve in front of my kids. I was afraid to freak them out. And he was like, don't let the fear drive you. Show them what grieving looks like. Be a model for grief. It's okay, and also also let them know that you're okay, that you're not going to, burn the house down or, crawl into your bed and never come out. Like show them what leading with confidence and fear looks like. And I always remember that, like, yes, I can still be a confident parent and a mom and go to work, and I can be really, really sad and really afraid. And I always remember that, and you can too. We don't have to live in the binary. Should I be confident or fearful? We can, it's all of it. It's all of it all the time. And we can embrace both of those things. We don't have to decide. It's not a binary choice. Am I confident or am I fearful? Okay, cultivate number 3, cultivate inner safety. Confidence grows when you create inner safety. That means regulating your nervous system through breath, stillness, movement, or connection. So you can respond, not react. And I think this is so important. And in my Up-Level Your Influence course, we work on cultivating an energy and how you do that. And connecting yourself to your body is the most critical step. So what do I mean by that? When I say, your breath, stillness, movement, connection, that means I'm getting in touch with my body, my nervous system. What is it saying to me? What is it doing? Like sometimes, where is the fear sitting in my body? Is it in the upper stomach, in the gut, my heart pounding? Are my knees weak? And where is that fear living? And connect to it and practice something, breathing, stillness, whatever it is, a box breath, which is up 4, hold 4, exhale 4, hold 4, just something like that. Practice this, before a meeting, before you're going to discuss something difficult with someone. Regulate your inner nervous system, tap into it, and give it some direction with either through breath, stillness, maybe movement, maybe you take a quick walk, jump up and down, that kind of thing. All right. Now I'm going to review real quick so we understand where we're at. Number 1, anchor and purpose. Number 2, feel the fear. It's okay. Number 3, cultivate inner safety. Learn how to regulate your own nervous system. And that's different for everybody. And there's lots of ways to do it. So just, experiment, find something that works for you. Now let's go to number 4. Focus on what you can influence. Notice I didn't say focus on what you can control, because you really can't control anything. You can't control the world, but you can, right, have influence, and also I would say control over your presence, your communication, and your energy. Your confidence expands when you act from what I will call your power zone, right? Your sovereignty, that place of courage, of knowing, of your either groundedness or expansion. You want to operate from that place. And how we get to that place is understanding what we can, quote unquote, control or influence, which is our energy, our thoughts, our words, right? Our energy controls our thoughts control our words, not control. Our energy, it dictates our influences. I'm experimenting as I go here. Our energy influences our thoughts influence our words, and our words influence our outcomes. And we want to cultivate the energy of calm confidence, even when we're afraid, knowing that fear can come along right beside us, but we don't have to toss all our confidence out the window just because we're afraid. We can still tap into it. And when we understand, like, okay, what can I influence right now? Me, my presence, my energy, how I speak, what I say. And when we tap into that, right, then we can lead, and people can then have confidence in us, knowing that yes, there's still fear present. That's okay. Number 5, embrace transparency. You don't have to have all the answers. In fact, people trust you more when you say, I don't know yet. I'm not sure. But here's what we're doing. Here's what I know for sure. Being open, being vulnerable builds credibility. It steadies people. Remember, the most vulnerable person in the room is the most influential. When you say, I don't know, I'm not sure. And here's what I think we should do. Yeah, I'm scared too. And here's what I think is a plan. It's okay to not be sure. In fact, people trust you more when you're open and honest, especially about how you feel about something. Don't be afraid to say what you really feel. It will allow others to express express it. They don't have to keep it hidden. They don't have to keep it down. They're going to say, "Oh my God, thank you so much. I was scared too, but I was afraid to say." It's okay. We're all here and we're all in this together, and we can all process our fear together. You don't have to hide it. You don't have to keep it hidden. I'm gonna release a little beast right now. Get ready. Get ready. We were taught, in this patriarchal capitalist world that drives our business, even the nonprofit business, which, has its issues and problems, that, you don't show vulnerability, you don't show weakness, you don't cry at work, blah, blah, blah. And that's all a bunch of crap. Okay. You get to have a full, you get to feel whatever you want to feel, like normalize crying. I've said it a bunch of times. I cry anytime I want to, for any reason I want to, because that's what people do. And we have assigned this idea that you're not allowed to show weakness, you're not allowed to show fear. And it really keeps us from having open and honest communication and allowing others to do the same. You can't, I don't want to say that. Let me restart. To lead most effectively, it would be hard to lead effectively from a place of you saying, oh, I'm not going to show my feelings, but you guys feel free, right? Good leaders go first. And if you set the example, they will follow. And if you're being transparent and open and honest, they will be too. And then you will be able to actually help and assist them through this troubling time. And also, one of the things I use in difficult times is, there's I think it's a Tony Robbins quote, everything happens for you, not to you. And so I think about, hey, when I'm thinking about Ty and her organization and what she's going through, and Betsy and her organization, and anything that you're going through, if you look at, this is all happening for me. There is a lesson here, there's a journey here that I'm supposed to be on. And I'm just going to trust that we're going to be stronger on the other side, that there is a reason for this. You look at COVID, so many organizations wound up benefiting so much from the confines of COVID, from getting out of that gala they never wanted to throw anyway, and rethinking how they did so much because we could not operate in business as normal, right? We had to toss out the status quo and reinvent ourselves. And in the reinvention, people came across things that actually really benefited them and came out better on the other side. Just understanding that, and that lead with transparency, and you will have people willing to follow you. Number 6, surround yourself with bravery. Confidence is contagious. Man, I could write a book. When you're in community with other courageous leaders, you remember you're not alone and that you're capable of more than you think. One of the beautiful things about the work that I do is I bring nonprofit leaders from all over the country together for this course, Uplevel Your Influence. And they get to grow and be more confident. And when they're in community with each other, they remember they're not alone. You are not alone. And the more that you connect with people who are confident leaders, the more it kind of rubs off on them and you or rubs off on you and you can rub off on them. Maybe this is a time to start connecting with the people that in your life that you look up to the most or have the biggest influence and impact on you. One of the things for me that came out of COVID and also this really difficult experience that happened to me, well, not happened to me, it happened to my son, but the repercussions were felt throughout our family, is one of the biggest lessons is I schedule time with people. I have a group of friends and we meet the second Thursday of the month. And whoever can show up, show up. Whoever can't, it's okay. Jim and I, first Wednesday of the month. Another Wednesday we can work in during that month if we can make it, but I always know that's the first Wednesday of the month. I would encourage you to find your support network and just schedule time. Hey, we do coffee Wednesday at 8 a.m. You know me, I ain't never doing a coffee, but I will do a cocktail anytime. So but if that works for you guys, like find a time and be there for each other and be there to just feed off each other and build and reconnect with what's powerful and brave and amazing about you. And make it a point to do that and to honor those commitments. All right, that's number 6. I'm going to read them through real quick so you got them all. Anchor in purpose, feel the fear, cultivate your inner safety, regulate that nervous system, focus on what you can influence, lead transparently, and surround yourself with bravery. If you're doing bold, meaningful work, fear is not a sign that something's wrong. It's a sign you're on the edge of growth. And in the nonprofit world, we are in the actual business of change. That means we're often challenging systems, right? Speaking truth to power, scary, asking people to do hard things like donate, shift mindsets, stand up for others. Fear is just baked into that process. If you're not afraid, you're not doing the work. So the goal isn't to eliminate fear. That would mean that you become complacent, that you stop stretching, and you settled into so comfortable, or worse, you become complacent because we will not change things with complacency. The world does not move with complacency. Instead of asking, how do I get rid of the fear? Ask, what is this fear trying to tell me? And what is this fear trying to show me? I have 2 more bits of wisdom to wrap up this lesson in negotiating with fear. The first is a 4-step formula that you can be curious and avoidant about a fear that's coming up for you. And this is really good, like in the moment. A fear thought hits you. First of all, name it. I'm afraid this donor will say no. I'm afraid people won't support this. I'm afraid no one's going to give to the annual fund. Saying it out loud, it gives it shape, gives it, I don't know, it releases it from you and minimizes its power over you. Anytime you speak it, it makes it a little less scary. The second is normalize it. Of course, I'm scared, right? Of course, this is scary. I'm doing something that matters. We rely on people for donations. Absolutely. This is a scary thing. And so normalize it, name it, normalize it, and then narrow it. What specifically am I afraid of? Vague fears are paralyzing. Specific fears can be addressed. So what is wrong? What do I think is going to happen? Will I get in trouble? Will I, you know, we won't make our goals. Narrow it down. What specific fear am I afraid of? Right? Then negotiate with it. And you can just say, thanks, fear, for the warning, but I've got this one. You know, in a way that when I negotiate with it, when I say, hey, thank you, I appreciate you alerting me to this, And now you can take your seat in the back here because my confident self is going to lead this campaign, is going to do the asking, is going to connect with the donor. Remember, like a vague fear paralyzes. A specific fear can be addressed, and you can figure out, what am I afraid of? Okay, what's what's the worst that can happen? Kind of statement. So name it, normalize it, narrow it, and negotiate with it. And that's how you're not waiting for confidence to magically appear. You're just cultivating it in your own brain by standing side by side with your fear instead of trying to be ruled by it or try to make it go away, right? It's literally going to be like overwhelming you like a big dark shadow, or you're just trying to dismiss it or deny it. It's a partner with you, just like anything else is. And it can be negotiated with, and it can be reasoned with, even fear. My last little piece of wisdom: one of the things I played for my client of Ty. Now, summer, blockbuster, Superman, big movie. Funny thing about me is James Gunn and I were in the same grade school for 8 years, and we were friends growing up, and our parents were friends. So I always watch his movies, even though this is not really my style of movie, but it's fun to see somebody that you knew as a child be very successful in life. Um, and I love this because Superman has insecurities. And so if Superman can have fears, so can you. So just listen to this little bit of wisdom, um, from Superman. Because listen, if he's struggling, it's okay for you to as well. Here we go.
Shit! Alien! That is where you've always been wrong about me, Lex. I'm as human as anyone. I love, I get scared, I wake up every morning and despite not knowing what to do, I put one foot in front of the other and I try to make the best choices I can. I screw up all the time. But that is being human. And that's my greatest strength. And someday, I hope, for the sake of the world, you understand that it's yours too. Oh,
So we're all waking up, putting one foot in front of the other and trying to make the best choices we can. And we're going to screw up and we're going to make a mess. And that is part of the fear. And you can absolutely navigate your way through it. All right. You've been great. Please, if you're looking for more coaching and help with navigating anything in your life, from fear to influence to asking for a lot of money or whatever it is, I can help you. My contact info is always in the show notes, as awesome as usual. And if no one has told you yet today, you are awesome. And I'll see you next time on the Influential Nonprofit.